Hi, I'm Alex from the Southern Ukulele Store, and I thought it'd be really fun this morning to delve into the collection of ukuleles given to us last week by the UKE ROOM. That's Matthew Stead, the man in charge of the Ukulele Festival of Great Britain, and a teacher primarily, but also had his own ukulele shop in Gloucestershire, selling vintage ukuleles and luthier-built instruments. We've collaborated with Matt. He's closing down his website, and we said, well, look, we will feature what you have, and there is an entire page dedicated to the UKE ROOM on the Southern Ukulele Store's website. And I'm going to take a brief look at three of the things I think are the most exciting in that collection. We're going to start with a Sam Kamaka made 1920s Kamaka Soprano. Before we start looking at the instrument, let's look at the inside of this case. I love this pastel red lining for a case. I want to see something like that in 2024. The ukulele itself is this absolutely incredible Soprano. 1920 Soprano made by Kamaka. Now, early Kamakas weren't all made out of koa. They could have been made out of any other kind of indigenous material, commonly mahogany, monkey pod, or koa. We think this is a very, very dark koa, but actually it's very, very hard to tell because as time and the elements get to this instrument, it's darkened it over the last 100 years. We can forgive it, I think, though, can't we? We can forgive it for being a little bit weathered. The ukulele itself is identifiable because of the placement of the sound hole. So anything made by Sam Kamaka would have had a high placed sound hole. He liked to put them right up there at the top, and also he liked to use wooden friction pegs, and this has the original wooden pegs. At least they look original to me. It's very, very hard to tell once again. Some of them have kind of dyed naturally almost like a pink colour over time. But you have the original Kamaka logo there, which is still beautiful. Still one of the best logos out there, and still something you see people copy in more modern designs. You've got, I believe it's a koa fingerboard on this ukulele, with a really flat, thin neck profile. So the neck profile on this is really, really slim. Slimmer than anything new we do now. It's the same depth as the headstock. I did get a ruler, actually, with a 37mm nut width. So actually, it's funny how things, the more things change, the more they stay the same. This is a wide nut soprano that's 100 years old, and just a fantastic piece of ukulele history. There's an early version of a slot bridge there. And one nice little fact I was given about this ukulele is that the string set on it right now is a brand new Kamaka set. That's the second set of strings this ukulele had from new. So in 100 years, this brand new set of strings is the first restring that this instrument had ever had. It does have some wear and tear on that bridge, and it has had a crack replaced on the side over the last, well, at some point in the last 100 years. It's stunning, and it's very cool, and it's one of my favourite sounding ukes in this collection. So let's give this early Kamaka a play and see what you think. It's so thick. It's like putting cream in your coffee, this ukulele. Wow, love it. Second up today, we're going to take a look at this 1926 Martin Soprano. I always get my stylos, 1, 2, 3s, etc. confused, but the early ukuleles, the earliest models that came through from companies like Martin and also Gibson, you would have a stylo, a basic model, a style 1, a style 2, a style 3, and then some very, very exotic 5 models, things that were really luxury items. But your basic models, your stylos and your style 1s can be represented with something like this. I might be wrong. Someone out there is going to correct me in the comment section. I'm going to get really offended for being wrong, but that's on me. I should have done more research. So you've got a rosette here in front and back binding, which I think is the difference between this being a stylo and a style 1. The uke has been refinished at some point in time, so it's got a kind of almost like a modern resistant matte finish to it. It looks like it's been kind of lightly sanded back from being the earlier kind of nitrocellulose buffed finish. You have also a really nice original feeling neck. The neck has no dings or bumps in it at all. It's really smooth to the touch. And it's worth noting that older Martin ukuleles wouldn't have necessarily had the logo on the front. Many of them had it blind embossed in the back of the instrument. I thought this uke sounded fantastic. It's got Ukuleles strings on it at the moment. Ideally, if I had a set of Martins to put on it, I'd have put it on for this sound sample. But it really stood out to me out of a collection of 10, 12 ukuleles last week when I was playing these. I thought, well, this is the one that's not too expensive. It's an affordable vintage instrument for somebody out there. Let's give it a play and see what you think. I talked before about stylos, 1s, 2, 3s, etc. Now here is a great example of the style 3. This is a Gibson style 3 from the 1920s. It has one of my favourite things in musical history. It has the Gibson early headstock. Now I've always had a thing for this. You'll see this on guitars in films like Inside Llewyn Davis. It's a real early period Gibson, back when we really didn't know just how big companies like Martin and Gibson would become and how synonymous they would be with musical instruments in general. Back in 1910s, 20s, 30s, these companies went, well, yeah, I suppose we should make a ukulele. And I do feel like the guitar brands are very out of touch with their own history in a way that Kamaka is still a family-owned company, very, very into it. Whereas, although Martin is family-owned, there's a sense of, the ukuleles are something they experiment with now with Mexican production, with composite materials, etc. And Gibson don't make ukuleles at all. But they should, because these snowflake-style inlays, these diamond inlays, were the inspiration for a Sumi custom ukulele we had a few years ago. A lot of Japanese builders really revere this simple style. It's a mahogany body. I think it's actually been stained this colour. I don't think it's naturally going to have aged this way from a lighter brown colour over the years. It has front and back binding. Really nice multi-trim binding for the front and back. The condition is fantastic for a 100-year-old instrument as well, with a simple rosette. Love the connection there. Even the fingerboard itself is bound both sides. Going up there to that diamond headstock inlay and then some friction tuners. This is, for me, this is the pinnacle of the vintage ukulele thing. It might not be for everybody. Some people out there are going to absolutely love the Hawaiian history, but for me, the lesser known ukuleles that built the foundations for which shops like us exist right now, they they need more attention, and I've been waiting a really, really long time to play this ukulele. So yeah, let's give this a play and see what you think. There's something about playing an old instrument that just makes you happy, you know? Hopefully some of you are still here. If you are and you have your own history or your own cool story to tell about an old ukulele, please do let us know in the comments section. I always love learning and hearing about people's personal stories with musical instruments. There's something so personal and so functional about a musical instrument that you don't get from a piece of art on the wall. And the stories they tell, the battle scars, the patina, it's all part of what makes them special. And I focus on so many new instruments. It's really lovely to be able to focus on something old for once. So yeah, please do let us know in the comments section which was your favourite of the three. I think my favourite was the old Kamaka sound-wise. My favourite feeling and looking instrument was the Gibson. What did you think though, folks? Let me know in the comment section. I'll see you again very soon.